something very special about the place, about the energy within the locker room. Like I said, we're all just trying to prove that, there's something different out there in the world of professional wrestling, and that's what we're delivering. So it's an energy that is intoxicating and motivating, and then on top of that, our boss, Tony Khan, is probably the best hype man that anybody could ask for. Like, he's just so excited about wrestling and so excited about his product and passionate about it, and that energy is infectious throughout the rest of the locker room.
Did you find it very interesting and very different in the sense that you're able to present your ideas more freely, if I could say that?
No, it's feeling like I am accepted for exactly the way that I am, and to be able to be me and be the most authentic version of me. I think that's one of the things that also makes AEW so special, and that's one of the reasons our fans are as incredible as they are, is because they see all of the performers being the most authentic version of themselves. And I think that they relate to that, and then they connect with that. Because everybody knows when you're trying to be something that you're not. People can tell, especially our fans, they can tell. So when you're the most authentic version of yourself, I think people connect with that even more, and that's why our fans are as incredible as they are. And so being able to be that version of myself unapologetically is really, really a great gift.
Another great gift is the fact that the women's division is getting better and better, and with Ruby Soho part of it, that lends itself to that statement. So, Ruby, who are you looking forward to competing with, competing against on the roster?
I have never been so excited about wrestling anybody as I have all the women on the roster. They're for different reasons. But if I had to choose one, it's one that I have had my eye on for quite some time, and that's Serena Deeb. Serena has been, kind of a hero of mine, and an inspiration throughout my career. And I've kind of been one step behind her in each promotion that we've worked for on the independents and otherwise. And so I've kind of been nipping at her heels, for the last, 10 years or so. So I would, be honored to be able to step into the ring with her, because she's just truly incredible.
Well, I'm not going to delve in the past so much, but I am interested with this since you mentioned Serena. Did she do any coaching for you?
She was a coach when I had gone up to the main roster. So I knew of her while she was there, and I tried to take some seminars stuff with her and sit in on her classes as much as I could while I was in the area. But I had moved to Ohio after that, and wasn't able to to be under her tutelage, if you will. But just being able to listen to her and how her brain works with wrestling, and how unbelievably smart and talented she is, makes me that much more excited for the day that we do get to step into the ring together.
And she's such a good person, too.
She's incredible. She's the nicest human being.
My gosh, yes.
But then you see her, then you see her out in the ring with Sheeta, and then she's not such a nice person.
Is that light switch on, light switch off? Hey, Ruby, you mentioned Ohio, so now I have to ask. Because Ethan Page, I just spoke to him, and he's from Canada, which is rich in pro wrestling history. But I always say, too, if you're from Ohio, that's a great place to be if you want to be a pro wrestler. How many people? There's so many wrestlers from Ohio.
Yeah, there's a lot of us. I'm originally a Hoosier, so I'm from Indiana originally, born and raised, and there's not as many of us from Indiana as there are from Ohio, but I currently live in Ohio, to be near my best friend Sarah and her little boy. But I love living in Ohio. It's a great place, and I've wrestled in Ohio a number of times, and I know that we are headed to Cleveland here in late January, which I'm very, very excited about. I'm very excited to be able to represent Indiana in the way of there. Like I said, there's not a lot of us from Indiana, so it's great to be a Hoosier and to be able to represent Indiana and hopefully represent it well.
You're right, Ruby. You are an original, because Indiana, we know Indiana for basketball. We know that. So with pro wrestling, It's Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho, Indiana, with Ohio attached to it.
Yeah.
All right, Ruby, couple more questions. I'm going to go back because I do want to ask you this about the entrance music too. Now, is it Ruby Soho or is it Ruby Soho Destination Unknown?
As far as
the title of it.
The title of the song is Ruby Soho.
Okay, so it's just Ruby Soho.
The title of the song is Ruby Soho. Yeah, that's the like cut and dry of what it is, and that's where Ruby actually derived from was the song. But you know, I don't know. If you ask Taz, I don't know if...
Yes, and I was going to bring Taz up. That's right, because it's such a catchy tune. And I'm first, I got to ask you this. Do you find yourself, you're even singing it in the car and or whatever you're doing?
All the time. I get it stuck in my head on a regular basis, and I have multiple fans and wrestlers, people from the back, telling me, I've had your entrance song stuck in my head for the last 3 weeks. Like, I can't get it out. And I'm like, I'm not sorry.
What do you think of Taz's version?
Oh, man. I would love it. All the words are always wrong. One day I'm just going to come out with, like, a page of the lyrics and just set it in front of him on commentary and just be like, I love your remix, man, but here's the words.
I'm thinking you could have two themes. You could have the Rancid version and the Taz version.
Yeah, exactly. He does the remix for sure.
Now, and I also, the Ramon. Are you a big Ramones fan? I mean, Rockaway Beach to me is like just one of that, because I'm a New York person, even though I'm in South Florida. But just, I mean, what are your thoughts of the Ramones or any of the others, the Clash or any of the other punk groups? Who are you into?
I love the Ramones. I love the Clash. Misfits, Dead Kennedys.
Oh.
Dead Kennedys was actually one of the ones that I first started with, like, old school punk and stuff like that. Holiday in Cambodia was my ringtone for a hot minute. So yeah, I love those old school punk bands. Robbie Brookside actually was one of the ones that introduced me to like old school punk and stuff like that. And the Clash I didn't start listening to until I met him. And he's kind of like my punk Yoda. He just introduces me to a whole new world of different bands and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely have a special spot for that. And then Sex Pistols is a big one too, that I've grown up on and everything. So yeah, I love all the variations of it: pop punk, ska, all of it. Old school punk, horror punk, all of it.
So I'm guessing the Pina Colada song is not in your playlist.
You never know. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I listen to not just punk. I listen to all kinds of different music. So it just genuinely depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
Well, Ruby, I want to thank you so much for taking some time. And Ruby, gosh, the tattoos. Is there a special one or two that you have? Because your look, your in-ring skill is just awesome. The theme music is down, and just the look too. I mean, it's just so you. I'm just curious about any of the tattoos for you, if there's one or two that have special meaning.
I have a couple. I have a couple different ones that all have different meanings. Some of them I just once you get to a certain point with tattoos, once you have so many, they don't all have to have a meaning anymore. It's just something that you think looks cool. But I do have a couple special ones on me. I have strawberries on my leg for my grandmother when I used to pick strawberries with her when I was a kid. I have the number 22, which was my brother's football number. I have I'm trying to think what else. I forget sometimes what kind of tattoos I have. I have a tattoo of like a skull version of my dog on my leg. a bunch of different ones, So I have some that have a lot of meaning, some that I just thought really looked cool, and yeah. So I fully intend on getting more, contrary to what my dad would love, but I fully intend on getting more.
Hey, what kind of dog, and what's the dog's name?
It's Sharpay. And his name is Juventud Guerrera, otherwise known as the Juice.
Hoovy Juice, that's great.
It's Hoovy, yeah.
Now, Ruby, are you one of these that, we got to let you go, but Ruby, are you one of these that the dog has his own Twitter or own Instagram or anything like that, or are you keeping it quiet there with the dog?
No, I don't, I'm not great at my own social media. I once I get home and I'm on my farm, like I kind of like tune out the rest of the world. So I'm not great at my own social media, let alone keeping up with my animals' social media. And I have 6 of them, so it would just be chaos if I did that. But they make appearances on my Twitch and stuff sometimes, and every once in a while I'll put them up on my Instagram. But other than that, like they kind of do their own thing.
Did you mention farm?
Yeah, I know. The exact opposite of what lifestyle you think I would live is the lifestyle that I live.
That is so perfect for you, actually. The not being different, being something that you wouldn't figure, actually does fit Ruby Soho. That is so amazing.
yeah. So, yep, 3 horses, 2 dogs, and a cat.
Oh, that's great. Well, Ruby, thank you so much for the time. AEW All Elite Wrestling. We got this New Year's Smash, which is going to be cool, December 29th on TNT. And then AEW Dynamite will be on Wednesdays in January on TBS. You still get AEW Rampage Friday nights on TNT. So AEW is just taking over that whole TNT TBS base right there and just taking over the world. Thank you so much, Ruby.
No problem. Thank you.